Welcome to BigONE Weekly News Update. I'm Mia. Last week, both the crypto and traditional financial markets maintained relative stability, though headlines revealed deepening connections between the two and a growing undercurrent of risk from trade policy developments. Crypto market recap. Bitcoin briefly pushed above $110,000 before news broke of an ancient whale address moving 80,000 BTC, prompting a pullback. BTC closed the week up 0.4% at $109,200. ETH saw a 2% gain, ending around $2,570, while SOL dipped slightly by 0.5% to $151. U.S. markets and macro signals. Despite a shortened week, U.S. equities remained strong. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ rose for the third straight week, gaining 1.72% and 1.02% respectively, fueled by a robust non-farm payroll report. However, expectations for a Fed rate cut decreased sharply, pushing U.S. Treasury yields higher and the dollar lower. In policy news, the U.S. passed the Omnibus Budget and Beautiful Bill, OBBB, a move that front-loads tax cuts but backloads deficit reduction, potentially increasing government debt by $2.3 trillion over 10 years. While the short-term impact may support growth, replenishing the Treasury General Account, TGA, could drain liquidity and pressure risk assets. Trade tensions resurface. As the July 9th deadline for trade negotiations looms, the U.S. faces unresolved talks with the EU and Japan, despite reaching agreements with Vietnam and others. Trump, emboldened by the market rally and reduced fiscal pressure, has threatened to resume tariffs by August 1st, heightening short-term market risks. Crypto and TradFi integration reaches new heights. Institutional interest in crypto continues to grow rapidly. BigONE announced plans to manage an ETH treasury. TLX rebranded from Synaptogenix, now focusing on TO accumulation and staking. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs saw net inflows of $4.6 billion in June, pushing total AUM over $75 billion. BlackRock's IVIT even surpassed its flagship S&P 500 ETF in annual fee revenue. The SEC, however, introduced some turbulence by suspending approval of Grayscale's GDLC ETF conversion, despite its $755 million in AUM. Tokenized stocks gaining momentum. Robinhood and Backed Finance took major steps in tokenizing U.S. equities. Robinhood launched 200-plus U.S. stock tokens on Arbitrum. Backed Finance's xStocks added 60-plus tickers across Bybit, Kraken, and Solana. Trading volume on Solana surged from $1 million to $8 million within 2 days, with blue-chip tokens like SPYX and TSLX attracting heavy demand. Layer 2 networks also hit new records. Stablecoin balances on L2S topped $12 billion, with Arbitrum leading in wallet growth. Tokenized stocks are showing early signs of strong product-market fit, potentially becoming the next wave of real-world assets to thrive on-chain after stablecoins and tokenized treasuries. New era for on-chain ETFs. The launch of SSG, REXOS Free Solana plus staking ETF marked a U.S. first, a product combining spot SOL exposure with native staking yield. Despite a tax-inefficient C-Corp structure and high costs, 1.4% total, first-day trading reached $33 million, showing strong appetite for yield-bearing, regulated crypto products. That said, its dominance may be challenged if lower-cost trust structures win SEC approval later this year. Crypto-friendly banking makes a comeback. A new crypto-focused bank, Erebor, was founded by tech leaders including Palmer Luckey and Joe Lonsdale, with support from Peter Thiel. Targeting startups and Web3 builders, Erebor aims to fill the void left by the fall of Silicon Valley Bank. Meanwhile, Circle and Ripple both applied for national trust bank licenses in the U.S., seeking to bolster custody and regulatory credibility for their stablecoins, USDC and Lust respectively. Crypto continues to blur lines with traditional finance, while global trade politics and monetary tightening introduce new volatility. As tokenized stocks, ETFs, and crypto-native banking evolve, investors must balance excitement with caution. Join BigONE today and take advantage of the growing cryptocurrency market.